Why do so many active, health-conscious seniors find themselves in more pain and facing more limitations after months of dedicated exercise, when movement is supposed to make them stronger and more resilient? This question haunts fitness centers, physical therapy offices, and living rooms across the country. We see it every day. Men and women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s who have committed themselves to staying active, who faithfully complete their workout routines, who push through discomfort because they've been told that exercise is the key to healthy aging. Yet instead of feeling better, they're experiencing worsening joint pain, unexplained fatigue, episodes of dizziness, and a creeping sense that something isn't quite right. The heartbreaking truth is that millions of seniors are unknowingly performing exercises that are actively damaging their bodies. Not because they're doing these exercises incorrectly, but because certain movements that benefit younger bodies become harmful as our bodies age. The very exercises recommended in fitness magazines, demonstrated in workout videos, and sometimes even suggested by well-meaning fitness instructors can accelerate joint degeneration, compress fragile spinal structures, and strain aging cardiovascular systems in ways that accumulate silently over time. Recent research from the American Geriatric Society and Harvard Health has begun sounding the alarm about this hidden crisis. Their studies reveal that the standard exercise advice given to the general population often fails to account for the profound changes that occur in our bodies after age 60. Our bones become more porous and brittle. The cartilage cushioning our joints thins and loses its shock-absorbing capacity. Our spinal discs lose water content and height, making them more vulnerable to compression and injury. Our hearts and blood vessels change in ways that make certain types of intense exercise potentially dangerous rather than beneficial. This doesn't mean exercise becomes dangerous as we age. Quite the opposite, the right kinds of movement remain among the most powerful tools we have for maintaining independence, cognitive function, and quality of life. But it does mean we need to be far more selective and informed about which exercises we choose and which we must leave behind as our bodies enter this new chapter. Before we explore the safer alternatives that can truly serve your body in these years, it's essential to understand which common exercises you should eliminate from your routine immediately, and why. This knowledge could prevent years of unnecessary pain and protect your body's ability to move freely and comfortably. The first exercise that needs to be retired from your routine is one that has been a staple of fitness programs for generations: sit-ups and crunches. For decades, these movements have been promoted as the cornerstone of core strength and abdominal fitness. You've probably done thousands of them over your lifetime, perhaps even continuing them into your 60s and beyond, because you believe they're keeping your core strong and your posture upright. Here's what's actually happening when a person over 60 performs sit-ups or crunches. Each time you curl your upper body forward off the ground, you're creating tremendous compressive force on your spinal discs, particularly in the lumbar region of your lower back. In younger people with plump, well-hydrated discs, this compression is generally tolerable. But after age 60, your spinal discs have lost significant height and water content. They've become thinner and more brittle, with less ability to absorb and distribute force. Research published in spine journals shows that the repetitive flexion motion of sit-ups creates pressure on the front portion of these already compromised discs. Over time, this pressure pushes the gel-like material inside the disc backward, toward the spinal canal where your nerves travel. This is how disc bulges and herniations develop, not suddenly from a single injury, but gradually from accumulated stress that your aging discs simply cannot withstand. Consider the story of Margaret, a 72-year-old woman who prided herself on her fitness dedication. She performed 50 sit-ups every morning, believing this routine kept her core strong and protected her back. Over the course of a year, she noticed increasing stiffness in her lower back each morning. Then one day, while bending to tie her shoes, she experienced sudden, severe pain radiating down her left leg. An MRI revealed a herniated disc, and her orthopedist explained that those daily sit-ups had likely been contributing to disc damage for months before that final breaking point. The second category of exercises that cause silent harm involves deep or heavily weighted squats. The squat is a fundamental human movement pattern we use every time we sit in a chair or stand from a seated position. The problem arises when seniors perform squats that descend too deeply or add significant weight through barbells or dumbbells. Your knee joints are remarkably complex structures. By age 60, the cartilage in your knees has experienced decades of wear. This cartilage doesn't regenerate once it's worn away. It's gone. When you perform a deep squat, one where your hips drop below your knees, the forces on your knee joint increase exponentially. At the bottom of a deep squat, your knee joint experiences compression forces up to 7 times your body weight. Physical therapists consistently report seeing seniors who developed knee pain not from a specific injury but from months of performing weighted squats in exercise classes. The damage is cumulative and insidious. Each squat wears away a bit more of that precious cartilage. The joint space gradually narrows. By the time pain becomes constant and limiting, significant irreversible damage has already occurred. Robert's experience illustrates this perfectly. At 68, he joined a fitness program emphasizing strength training with compound movements. Over 6 months, he worked up to squatting with 120 pounds. He felt empowered by his increasing strength. Then, the discomfort became constant. X-rays showed severe cartilage loss and bone-on-bone contact in both knees. His orthopedist explained that those heavy squats had accelerated the destruction of his knee joints by years. He now faces knee replacement surgery that might have been avoided with gentler leg strengthening. The third category of harmful exercises includes high-impact cardiovascular activities like running, jumping jacks, burpees, and plyometric movements. These exercises have long been promoted as excellent for cardiovascular fitness. For younger people, this is generally true. But for people over 60, the risks often outweigh the benefits. Your heart muscle becomes slightly stiffer and less elastic with age. Your maximum heart rate naturally decreases. The electrical system controlling your heartbeat can become more prone to irregular rhythms. When you perform high-impact exercises like running or jumping jacks, you're creating sudden, dramatic increases in heart rate that can trigger arrhythmias in susceptible individuals. Beyond cardiovascular concerns, there's the mechanical impact to consider. Every time your foot strikes the ground during running, the force transmitted through your joints is approximately 3 to 4 times your body weight. With your thinned cartilage and reduced shock absorption capacity, these repetitive impacts accelerate joint wear throughout your body. Patricia, 71, discovered these risks when she joined a group fitness class incorporating interval training with jumping exercises. During a session involving repeated jumping jacks, she felt her heart suddenly racing irregularly. At the emergency room, she was diagnosed with atrial fibrillation. The cardiologist explained that while she likely had some underlying susceptibility, the sudden intense demands of high-impact exercise had triggered the event. Those jumping exercises were now permanently off limits. The fourth category of exercises causing damage includes toe touches and forward bending movements. These flexibility exercises seem gentle and beneficial after all. Maintaining flexibility is important as we age. But the specific mechanics of forward bending create serious problems for aging spines. When you bend forward to touch your toes, you're forcing your lumbar spine into extreme flexion. Your spinal discs are already compromised. Forward flexion creates pressure on the front of these discs, squeezing the nucleus backward toward your spinal nerves. Research on spinal biomechanics shows that flexion, combined with even slight rotation, creates the highest risk scenario for disc injury. The cruel irony is that people often increase their forward bending exercises when they start, experiencing back stiffness, thinking they need more flexibility. In reality, they're aggravating the very problem, causing their symptoms. Now, having understood which exercises are causing harm, let's turn our attention to what you should be doing instead. Movements that work with your body's current capabilities rather than against them. The single most effective exercise for people over 60 is simply walking. This might sound too simple to be meaningful, but the scientific evidence supporting walking for senior health is overwhelming. Walking is low impact, meaning your feet never leave the ground simultaneously. This eliminates the joint-jarring forces of running while still providing substantial cardiovascular benefits. Studies show that regular walking reduces risk of heart disease, stroke, and cardiovascular death by 30 to 40%. It helps regulate blood pressure and blood sugar levels. It strengthens bones and muscles without overstressing them. Research demonstrates that regular walking improves cognitive function, reduces risk of dementia, and helps maintain memory and processing speed as we age. One of walking's greatest advantages is its scalability. You can walk at whatever pace feels comfortable, gradually increasing distance or speed as your fitness improves. The key is consistency and duration. Research suggests aiming for 30 minutes of walking most days of the week. You don't need to walk fast. A comfortable pace that allows you to talk but increases your breathing rate is ideal. Consider James and Eleanor, both in their mid-70s, who made walking their primary exercise. They started with just 15 minutes around their neighborhood each morning. Within 3 months, they were comfortably walking 45 minutes daily. After a year, both had lost modest amounts of weight. James's blood pressure had improved enough to reduce his medication, and both were sleeping better than they had in years. The second exercise category that serves aging bodies beautifully is resistance band training. As we age, we experience sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle mass that accelerates after 60. This muscle loss directly affects our strength, metabolism, bone density, balance, and ability to perform daily activities independently. Resistance bands offer an elegant solution. These elastic bands provide progressive resistance while protecting your joints. Unlike weights that pull downward under gravity, bands can provide resistance in any direction. This means you can strengthen muscles through their full range of motion without the joint compression that occurs with free weights. With a simple set of bands in different resistance levels, you can perform exercises that strengthen virtually every major muscle group. Physical therapists have embraced resistance bands because they see consistently positive results. Seniors using bands 2 to 3 times per week show measurable improvements in down, muscle strength, bone density, balance, and functional capacity. Linda, 67, began using resistance bands after her physical therapist recommended them for chronic shoulder pain. Within weeks, her shoulder pain had decreased noticeably. Within 3 months, the pain was gone entirely, and she'd regained range of motion she'd lost over 5 years. Her therapist explained that by strengthening the stabilizing muscles around her shoulder joint, the bands had restored proper mechanics and reduced inflammation. The third category of ideal senior exercise is water-based activity, swimming, water aerobics, or simply walking in a pool. Water creates a unique exercise environment almost perfectly suited to aging bodies. The buoyancy of water reduces your effective body weight by approximately 90% when submerged to chest level. This means your joints bear only a fraction of their usual load. At the same time, water provides gentle resistance in all directions. This resistance challenges your muscles effectively without requiring any equipment. For people with arthritis, fibromyalgia, or chronic pain conditions, water exercise can be transformative. The warmth of heated pools soothes aching joints and relaxes tight muscles. Dorothy's experience illustrates water exercise's power. At 74, severe osteoarthritis in both hips had made walking increasingly painful. Her orthopedist suggested water aerobics while she waited for hip replacement surgery. In the water, she could move in ways that had become impossible on land. After 3 months of twice-weekly water aerobics, her pain had decreased so much that she decided to postpone surgery. 5 years later, she still hasn't needed the hip replacement her doctor thought was imminent. The fourth exercise particularly valuable for seniors is Tai Chi, an ancient Chinese practice combining slow, flowing movements with deep breathing and mental focus. Multiple research studies have demonstrated Tai Chi's remarkable benefits for aging bodies and minds. Most notably, Tai Chi is the single most effective intervention for preventing falls in seniors, reducing fall risk by up to 45%. The movements of Tai Chi involve constant weight shifts from one leg to the other, training your body to maintain stability during the exact type of transitions where falls most often occur. Beyond fall prevention, research shows it improves cardiovascular function, lowers blood pressure, reduces chronic pain, enhances flexibility, and improves sleep quality. George, 79, started Tai Chi after a minor fall shook his confidence. Initially, he felt awkward and uncoordinated, but after several weeks the movements began to feel natural. After 6 months of twice-weekly Tai Chi, George had regained his confidence and felt more balanced and strong than he had in years. What makes these 4 exercise approaches, walking, resistance band training, water exercise, and Tai Chi so ideal for people over 60 is that they work with your body's current reality rather than fighting against it. They strengthen without damaging. They challenge without overwhelming. They provide all the proven benefits of exercise without the risks. The key principle is choosing activities that respect your body's changed capabilities. This means avoiding repetitive spinal flexion that compresses aging discs. It means minimizing joint impact that accelerates cartilage wear. It means keeping cardiovascular intensity in a range that challenges your fitness without creating dangerous heart rhythm disturbances. If you're currently doing any of the harmful exercises we discussed, sit-ups, deep or weighted squats, high-impact cardio, or repetitive forward bending, I encourage you to stop these movements today. Each repetition is potentially causing cumulative damage that you might not feel until significant harm has occurred. Stopping now prevents further damage and gives your body the opportunity to heal. Then, choose one of the beneficial exercises we've explored to begin incorporating into your life. If you're not currently exercising at all, start with walking. Begin with just 10 or 15 minutes at a comfortable pace. If you're already active and looking to replace harmful exercises, consider what appeals to you most. Your body has carried you faithfully through all the years of your life. It deserves your care and wisdom now more than ever. Moving smarter, not harder, is how you honor that body and claim the vibrant, active years that lie ahead. Take action today. Stop any exercises from the harmful categories we discussed, choose one beneficial exercise to begin or expand, and subscribe for more life-changing health insights. Share this information with friends who might be unknowingly harming themselves with outdated exercise advice. Most importantly, commit to moving regularly in ways that make you feel better, not worse. Your body will thank you with easier movement, less pain, and the energy to fully engage with life. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments.